Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of PKM Weekly. So let's see what's been in store for us from the past week. First up is Obsidian, and Mike, he built an AI employee that actually works for him, and that's through Opus 4.5 and Obsidian. And he shares that I run my entire life out of Obsidian, and in this video I'm giving my annual Obsidian review of what I believe is the best note-taking app on the planet. And he talks through the intros, the desktop app, the mobile app, the core plugins, community plugins, automation, themes and customization, canvas, bases, sync, publish, and then he closes off the video. So well worthwhile checking this video out by Mike if you are interested in seeing how he uses Obsidian and what he thinks about its various different features. So thank you very much for doing that, Mike. Next up is the Obsidian web clipper, and this is now available in 4 languages, and you can also help to translate it in even more languages. Just go to the GitHub page that they've set up and follow the instructions, and you can help translate the Obsidian clipper into even more languages than what is possible for the time being, which is English, Spanish, French, and Japanese, and Chinese simplified as well. So you can see some of the apps that they want, or some of the languages that they want to bring in. So if you're interested, definitely worthwhile checking that one out. And on top of that, Capano, he has built Defuddle, which is basically get main content out of any page as Markdown, and might as well just check it out from here. So one of his posts, let's just go back to the beginning. This is defuddle.md, posts a YouTube link, clicks get markdown, and that will come up with the YouTube transcript, all time-stamped and everything. So quite an easy way if you want to get transcript out of video. If not, you can go to the YouTube link, click on the Obsidian web clipper, click on the little button at the top, and there you go. It's got everything, the transcript, timestamped, the video at the top, so that then you can have the whole transcript of the video nice and easily done. So some great stuff from Capano and team on that one. Anton, he did a quick video of how he uses OpenClaw with Obsidian as a productivity-focused personal assistant, and he communicates through it using Discord. Basically, Discord can read and edit markdown files, tasks, habits, and calendar data via the TaskNote MCP server and Obsidian CLI. And in the video, he explains the whole setup, the whole process, and he even demonstrates it. So some great stuff from Anton in this one. So the OpenClaw setup, onboarding, interface, productivity assistant role, schedule routines, voice commands and tasks, and various different other things. So if you're interested in linking up OpenClaw with your Obsidian notes, or even using Discord to chat with your notes, definitely worthwhile checking this video out and seeing how Anton does it. So some great stuff, thank you Anton. A few interesting Reddit posts that I came across. I feel a little bit like a spy when I'm using Obsidian. So this is from OP, that he's basically saying that at first he felt a little bit manipulative, but then he discovered that it just creates something like empathy. It allows you to pull data out of nowhere on the people that you're meeting or the things that you want to reference. So well worthwhile having a look through this, how he set the notes up, and various different comments that other users have put. So some interesting stuff on that one. Favorite unusual use case for Obsidian. So if you use Obsidian in a weird and wonderful way, OP definitely wants to know about it. So 118 comments already so far, so well worthwhile having a look through that, just to see what other people are suggesting and how they use it. And last one was, for those who switched from Evernote to Obsidian, what are your thoughts? So after 15 years, OP has finally given up on Evernote, tried out a few different notes app, Ample Notes, Notion, Droplin, and now Obsidian. And he basically wants to know more information of Obsidian and some questions that he has. So if you're in a similar position, well worthwhile checking that one out as well. Thymer, they've released the desktop app, so it's still in invite-only alpha mode, but this was a big sign or a big task that the devs wanted to get out before they opened up beta. So hopefully that means that the beta release is going to be somewhere close by, and it does work very well, very quickly. So we can just open that one up quickly, and you can see it here. It comes up nice and easy as you would expect, and then you can just use it as you would use the web app. So some great stuff from the team on that one. And then Wim, he posted a quick demo or GIF of what is possible with Thymer, and you can see basically uses MCP or the CLI to basically do various different tasks in his Thymer workspace quite easily. And with a desktop app, that is now a lot simpler to do. So some great stuff from the Thymer team on that one. Capacities, they've got a little bit of an update. So indexing, bugs and backlinking, tags, search and calendars is fixed. And they've also reworked the tabs. So working with multiple tabs is now easier, and the tabs menu appears when there are multiple tabs open. So just basically a quality of life improvement on the Capacities app. Tana, they've implemented or introduced some new models, new AI models. So GPT 5.4, Opus 4.6, and Sonnet 4.6, and Gemini Pro 3.1. So these should now be available within your Tana workspace. And also on top of that, they've got agent delegation, a session coming up on Wednesday 18th through Google Meet, and it's going to look at how to automatically sort incoming content into the right context and hand it to the right agent to do something useful with it. So focus on two skills, the root and the react. So well worthwhile checking that one out, even if you don't necessarily use Tana, because as we're all using more and more AI models and agents, well worthwhile seeing if you can get any context out, which might help your own use case. Logseq, there was a bit of a post in Reddit from OP, who may have found a solution of working with Logseq and Obsidian side by side. And it basically, as you can see, rather than having the thing on the left-hand side, it's now split it up on the right-hand side. If you're interested, definitely worthwhile checking this out, because he does have the whole CSS code within it. Although there was one comment which was a little bit interesting of why do you require this visual monstrosity, but I will let you be the judge of that. And that was it from Logseq for this week. Appflowy 0.11.4, that's been released. New database features on the desktop app, so chart view. You can now have unlimited vertical bar charts in the free plan and all chart types in the pro plan. And feed view, you can view your database's entries in a continuous stream, just making it easier to scroll through and catch up on updates, as well as various different other features that they've implemented in the database view. A few non-database features as well, Google Drive embeds, revamp /menu, and web bookmark block. And the self-host updates and video tutorial has been published. So as usual with Appflowy, if you want to check out the latest updates and see how they work, definitely worthwhile checking out this quick video by the team and seeing what you can do with it. And on top of that, they've also released of what's coming up next and what they're planning on working on. So database row page can be mentioned, AI meeting notes, AI transcriptions, document page view history, and various different other things as well. Octarine version 0.38.0 is out. That now includes changes to the Ask Octarine feature. So chat landing page has been redesigned with a centered prompt, just making it easier and simplified the way that you can chat with your notes by using Ask Octarine and various different other tweaks that they've added. The editor, you can select and type a bracket or quote to automatically wrap it. And you can toggle that on and off as well. And performance updates, other improvements and fixes as well have been implemented by the team. There is, and I will post it at the bottom as well, you can check out the changelog here with the full details of everything that's changed and a few demos as well. So well worthwhile checking that one out by Octarine. Craft, if you want to stay on top of your tasks with one prompt, definitely worthwhile seeing this video by the Craft team. So they look at how they use Craft Assistant that can help you reset your week in a single prompt by collecting your open tasks from your daily notes, moving into the next week and setting a clear deadline. Quick video, minute and a half, and you can see how the team do it with Craft Assistant. So well worthwhile having a look at that one and getting a little bit of insight into how you can better use Craft Assistant. RemNote, they've released version 1.24.3, various different changes, Learn PDF, they've polished the quiz screen, menus have been improved, advanced tables have now been fixed, and edit later has also been fixed with autofocus stealing your cursor, as well as a number of other changes that have been implemented, as you can see here. So well worthwhile having a look at that one if you're having any issues. And on top of that, they're also asking for feedback on the RemNote plugin ecosystem. So if you want to pitch in and give your thoughts and ideas, check out this post that will get you to the Discord thread and put your ideas there, as I'm sure the team are more than happy to listen to user feedback. Heptabase, they've introduced WebCard. So now with a single click, you can save web sites as cards within your space. So that you can view them fully offline, search across them, and place them on your whiteboard. And there are some other things that they are planning, so it's just the first iteration. And other things that they're planning are support clipping of websites, support highlighting and annotation, sync it to Zotero, and allow AI to generate web cards on demand. And if I remember right, you can see a demo of it within Reddit of how you can use the new web card feature. So well worthwhile having a look at that one. Supernotes 3.2.2 is out, so localization support, that's now early access. See active card in maps, drag and drop in tables, and many bug fixes and improvements, so well worthwhile having a look at the Supernotes changelog to see what's been updated and what's been improved in the past week or so. And last up is Wispr Flow. So I recently started using this one, so it's a bit of a shameless plug from me. Finding it great, actually finding it a lot more useful than I thought I would. I was always a bit reluctant to say I'm never going to use voice to actually type, but I've actually found it a lot more useful. So thank you, Ev, for getting me addicted to it. And if you want to get a free month and also give me a free month if you dictate 2,000 words, just click this link. It is a referral link, but if you sign up, as I say, you get a free month of pro access to really use it. So well worthwhile checking that one out, and as I say, I didn't think I would use it as much as I am. And the good thing is that they have just released the Android app, which helps a lot. So that was it for this week. Thank you very much for being here, and I shall see you next week. Thanks, bye.